Okay, so let's start with a phrase everyone knows. Time is money. It's the cliche to end all cliches, right?
It's on every coffee mug. It's the foundational belief of, modern capitalism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to look at a source that argues we've actually got the equation backwards, or at least we're misinterpreting it. This document suggests that in most modern businesses, time is actually the enemy of money. Specifically, the time it takes humans to do things.
The lag time, yeah, the
Yeah.
gap between a customer's intention and the business's action.
We are doing a deep dive today into a presentation deck from an agency called AI2AU. That's AI2AU, short for AI Automation Agency.
Right.
And they're pitching a concept that's, well, pretty audacious. The title of their opening slide is Turning Time-Sucking Tasks into Profit Centers.
And that's a hook. But, looking through this deck, it's not just marketing fluff. They're outlining a very specific shift in business philosophy.
How so?
It's moving away from that old idea that more revenue requires more work, and it's moving toward the idea of revenue extraction.
Revenue extraction. That sounds a little industrial, like we're drilling for oil or something.
Well, in a way, we are. The core argument here is that most businesses are sitting on a gold mine of revenue that they just aren't tapping into.
Why not?
Because their manual processes are too slow, too leaky, or just, frankly, too human. They are literally leaving money on the table because they can't physically pick it up fast enough.
Okay, well, let's test that theory. We're going to walk through this slide deck, slide by slide, to see if the mechanics actually hold up.
Let's do it.
Because on slide 2, they make a massive promise. It says in big, bold letters, we are in the business of getting results.
Mm-hmm.
And then specifically, to pull in multiple thousands in extra sales without asking them to do any extra work.
In that part, that without asking them to do any extra work, that's the key variable here. Usually, if you want to double your sales, what do you have to do?
You double your sales team, you double your ad spend. It's expensive.
Exactly. It's linear growth. You have to feed the beast to get more out of it. But this deck is proposing exponential efficiency.
And they list 3 goals on the right side of this slide. Streamline sales processes, increase productivity, and this is the big one unlock, hidden revenue.
Hidden revenue. That implies the money is already there, doesn't it?
It does.
That's the crux of their argument. Think of it like a messy workshop. You might have expensive tools buried under a pile of sawdust.
Okay.
You don't need to go buy new tools. You just need to clean up the sawdust to find what you already own. This agency is positioning AI not as some content creator, but as the vacuum cleaner.
I love that analogy.
Right.
Okay, so let's find the sawdust. Where are we losing this money? That brings us to slide 3. And if you're listening, I want you to visualize a classic marketing funnel.
Wide at the top, narrow at the bottom.
But this graphic, it's a bit of a disaster. The funnel is full of cracks, with gold coins literally spilling out the sides.
It's the leaky bucket theory. It's a classic for a reason.
They call it the expensive bottlenecks in your funnel. And they identify 3 specific leaks. The first one is slow response time.
This is a data point that most business owners, I think, ignore at their peril. There's a concept in sales called lead decay.
Lead decay.
Yeah, a lead is like a loaf of bread. It goes stale incredibly fast. Data shows that if you don't respond to an inquiry within 5 minutes, your odds of closing that deal drop by something like 80 or 90%.
5 minutes? That seems impossibly fast.
It is impossibly fast for a human.
Right. If I'm a plumber or a dentist or running a consultancy, I'm working. I'm under a sink or in a meeting. I can't just drop everything and pick up the phone in 5 minutes.
And that is the bottleneck. Human capacity is slower than customer demand. We live in an Amazon Prime world, We want instant gratification.
So if a customer reaches out and hears nothing,
They assume you're not interested. That's leak number 1.
Okay, so leak number 2 on the slide is out-of-hours silence. The graphic shows a little bed. So leads coming in when the shop is closed.
Which is a totally outdated concept, right? Business hours are a construct of the physical world. The digital world is 24/7. If I'm a potential customer browsing your site at 11 p.m. and I have a question and you don't answer, I don't wait until 9 a.m.
No, you go to Google and you click the very next link.
You go to the next tab on your browser. Exactly. So out of hours is basically telling the customer, go away, we aren't convenient. And convenience is the primary currency today.
Then there's a third leak. This one just hurts to look at. Leads written off. The visual is a red trash can.
This is the most insidious one because it's invisible. These are the leads you already paid for, maybe through Facebook ads or Google ads.
Sure.
They came in, you called them once, they didn't answer, or they said not right now. What does a typical sales rep do?
Moves on. They want the fresh lead, the easy win.
Exactly. They chase the new dopamine hit. The old lead goes into the CRM graveyard. This deck argues that those dead leads are actually assets that you've already paid for and you're just throwing them in the trash.
So the diagnosis on slide 3 is pretty grim. We're too slow, we sleep too much, and we give up too easily.
Brutal, but, accurate. And notice the text at the top. These are not just operational annoyances, they are revenue leaks. They're framing this as a financial emergency.
So let's look at the cure. We flip to slide 4. This is a diagram titled AI Infrastructure. It looks kind of like a flow chart.
Okay, look at the flow here. On the left, you have inbound traffic. That's the raw material, people clicking your ads, visiting your site.
Right.
Then it hits this big blue box called AI Infrastructure. And notice what comes out the other side. It doesn't point to leads. It points to qualified appointments.
That's a huge distinction. It's not just passing a name along.
It completely changes the definition of the work. The AI infrastructure is acting as a filter. It sits between the chaos of the internet and your expensive human sales team.
The phrase they use here is turn friction into cash flow.
Right. The friction is all that back and forth. Are you available? What's your budget? Do you have this in blue? That's the friction. The AI absorbs all of that.
So a human only steps in when there's an appointment ready to go.
Exactly. It transforms the sales team from hunters who have to go find the kill into gatherers who just pick up the result.
Okay, so that's the high-level theory. But what does this actually look like? How does the robot talk to people? Because if it sounds like a robot, nobody's going to talk back.
That's the key question.
And this brings us to slide 5. And I have to say, this is the part of the deck that really got my attention. They call it database reactivation.
Or as I call it, the Lazarus strategy, raising the dead.
Ah, I like that. The header is mining gold from dead leads. And the strategy is taking that list of people in the trash can and using an AI bot to re-engage them via SMS.
Now, pay attention to the execution here. Because most people hear AI marketing and they think of, spammy, generic emails with flashy graphics.
Right. Dear valued customer, please buy our product.
Exactly. But look at the screenshot of the phone on this slide. It's an SMS conversation. Could you read that out loud and just listen to the tone?
Okay, yeah. So the AI sends a text. Hey, Mike, we have a few spots left for the consultation promo. Still interested? Mike replies. Yes, actually, just been busy, the AI says. No problem. Want me to book you in for Tuesday at 10 a.m.?
So what did you notice about that first message?
It's really short. Hey, Mike, still interested? And consultation promo isn't capitalized. It feels almost lazy.
It feels human. It feels like a text you'd send to a friend. We call that a pattern interrupt. Our brains are trained to ignore polished marketing.
Yeah, we tune it out.
But we are not trained to ignore a text that looks like it came from a real person. By stripping away all the corporate formatting, the AI actually sounds more authentic.
It's almost anti-marketing.
It is. And look at the result box at the bottom. Pull 5 or 6 figures worth of sales from old leads you'd written off for dead.
That number seems high in $1,000 to $100,000 just from texting old numbers.
Well, think about the math. If you have a list of 1,000 people who inquired over the last 2 years but never bought, even if only, say, 2 or 3% of them respond and buy, if your product costs $500 or $1,000, that adds up instantly.
And the cost to acquire them is zero.
It's zero. You already paid for the lead years ago. This is pure margin.
That's why they call it a profit center.
Yeah.
It's basically free money just sitting in your database.
Exactly.
But there is a risk here, isn't there? If I text 1,000 people, am I just going to annoy them?
That's the fear every business owner has. I don't want to bug people, but look at Mike's response in the example. Yes, actually, just been busy.
Right.
Most people aren't angry. They're just distracted. Life got in the way. The AI is persistent without having an ego. It doesn't feel rejection. It just follows up until it gets a yes or a no.
So it removes the emotional baggage of sales.
Okay, let's move to slide 6 because we touched on this earlier. The speed issue. This slide is titled Speed to Lead, Winning the Race to the Phone.
And this visual is just stark. It's a bar chart comparison. Yeah, you've got a big red bar for manual human response, which averages 4 to 48 hours. And then this tiny, barely visible blue bar for AI response, which is instant seconds.
And the text above the chart really drives the point home. Competitors are answering the phone faster.
It frames it as a race.
Because it is a race. In so many industries, think contractors, real estate, legal services, the customer contacts 3 or 4 vendors at the same time.
Right, they just blast out inquiries.
Yeah. And the winner is often just the first person to reply. It's not about being the best plumber. It's about being the available plumber.
So the AI gives you a competitive advantage. Even if you're a smaller business, if your AI answers in 10 seconds and the big competitor answers in 24 hours, you win.
Precisely. You are weaponizing speed. And notice the note on conversion rates. Immediate engagement means higher conversion rates.
That makes sense.
It goes back to psychology. When someone fills out a form, they have a problem right now. They are in a state of high intent. 2 days later, the problem might be solved, or they might just not care anymore. Catching them in that moment is crucial.
Which brings us to the ultimate moment, the middle of the night. Slide 7. This graphic is really cool. It's a moody night cityscape.
The vampire shift.
Out of hours, the 204/7 workforce. And there's a notification popping up that says, new lead qualified. Time, 2:43 a.m.
I love the promise at the bottom of this slide. Wake up to qualified appointments, not a list of cold follow-ups.
That sounds like a lifestyle change, not just a business change.
It absolutely is. I mean, imagine the typical morning for a sales rep or a business owner. You come in, grab your coffee, and stare at a list of 20 people who emailed overnight.
Ugh, the grind.
It's a grind. You have to call them all. Half won't answer. The other half are busy. It starts your day with friction and rejection.
It's demoralizing.
Now imagine the AI scenario. The AI had the conversation at 2:43 a.m. It answered the questions, qualified the lead, booked the meeting. You walk in at 9 a.m., open your calendar, and you have 3 appointments just sitting there.
You skip the grind and go straight to the sale.
You go straight to the valuable part of your job. The AI is the bouncer. It keeps the tire kickers out of your calendar so you only talk to serious buyers.
Now, slide 8 shifts gears a little. We've been talking about leads and sales. This slide is about reputation management on autopilot. Why is this in a revenue deck?
Because reputation is SEO, and reputation is trust.
The slide shows a Google Reviews AI bot. There's a chat bubble where a customer leaves a 5-star review and the owner response is instant. Thanks, Sarah. Glad we could help you out so quickly.
Here's the thing about Google Reviews. Most businesses get a review and they either ignore it or they reply 3 months later. Google's algorithm hates that.
Really?
It wants to see an active, engaged business. Responding to reviews quickly actually helps you rank higher in the search results.
I did not know that. So replying isn't just polite, it's actually an SEO tactic.
100%. But again, who has the time to sit there and type thank you to every single review? It's a low-value task for a human, but a high-value task for the algorithm. So it's perfect for AI.
The slide says, consistent engagement builds trust without distracting your team from closing deals. There's that theme of focus again.
The AI handles the maintenance of the business, the reviews, the FAQs, the scheduling, so the humans can handle the growth.
So we've got this whole suite of bots here. Slide 9 just summarizes them. We've got you covered.
It's the full inventory.
Right. Just to recap, we're looking at number 1, the database reactivation bot, the zombie hunter. Number 2, the speed to lead bot, the sprinter. 3, the out of hours bot, the night watchman. And 4, the Google Reviews bot, the PR manager.
And seeing them all stacked like that, you realize this isn't about just getting a chatbot. It's about building a safety net around your revenue. Each one of those bots plugs a different hole in the bucket.
Okay, moving to slide 10. This one is interesting. It's less technical, more philosophical. The headline is a quote. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, a demo is worth 1,000 pictures.
They're addressing the skepticism we talked about at the very beginning.
Right. Because when I hear AI, I still think of those terrible automated phone menus. Press 1 for sales. I didn't understand that.
Exactly. Business owners are terrified of sounding robotic. They think AI is going to damage their brand. This slide is acknowledging that the only way to get over that fear is to see it work, to see the demo.
It also mentions that the AI bears the brunt of repetitive tasks, so you and your team don't have to.
Bears the brunt is such a heavy phrase. It implies that these tasks are painful. And they are. Chasing people who don't answer the phone is painful, frustrating work. It leads to burnout.
And that leads us to the payoff. Slide 11. Unlock new levels of ROI. We have a comparison table here. The old way versus the AI to AU way.
The before and after. This is classic marketing, but it sums up the value proposition perfectly.
Let's look at the old way first. It's got these red check marks, work you'd never get around to doing, wasted manpower on admin, leads written off for dead, slow response times.
It sounds like a business that is drowning, It's
Hmm.
reactive. You're just trying to keep your head above water. You're working in the business, not on the business.
And then the AI2AU way in blue, focusing on things you enjoy, valuable manpower freed up, instant 24/7 engagement.
See, the shift here is from maintenance to scale. When you aren't bogged down in the minutia of admin, when you aren't playing phone tag, you actually have the mental space to grow the business.
It's about buying back your own brain power.
That's a great way to put it.
And finally, slide 12. Let us show you how it's done. The call to action.
And notice the wording here. It's not buy our software.
No, it says schedule a call to chat about specifically where your revenue is trapped.
Trapped revenue. They are hammering that frame until the very end. They want you to leave this presentation thinking, I am losing money right now. Not, I could make more, but I am actively losing what is already mine.
And the final promise. Remove expensive bottlenecks and add a few extra zeros to your business account.
It's confident. But based on the mechanics we've just walked through, the speed, the reactivation, the 24/7 coverage, the logic, it holds up. If you'll plug the leaks, the bucket fills up. It's not magic, it's just plumbing.
So we've dissected the whole deck. What's the one big takeaway for you? If you had to summarize this for a business owner listening right now.
My takeaway is that we need to stop viewing leads as people we need to call and start viewing them as perishable assets, like fruit on a counter. They rot. If you leave a lead for 48 hours, it's gone. This AI system isn't a replacement for human connection. It's a refrigerator. It keeps the assets fresh until a human is ready to use them.
The refrigerator for your leads. That's a really powerful image. For me, the thing that stuck it is just how simple the database reactivation is.
Right.
It feels like the lowest hanging fruit in business history. Just texting people, hey, are you still interested?
It's so simple, but humans don't do it. Because humans have egos. We fear rejection. We assume, oh, they didn't buy 6 months ago, they must hate us. The AI doesn't have that baggage. It just asks. And because it asks, it receives. That's the superpower.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you, the listener, with a bit of a provocative thought from all this. We've talked about how this AI texts like a human, replies like an owner, and works 24/7.
And it's always polite. It never has a bad day.
Right. So if the AI is faster, more polite, more reliable, and more consistent than a stressed-out human employee, at what point does the human actually become the bottleneck? Are we reaching a point where customers might actually prefer talking to the bot because it just gets the job done without any drama?
That is the question of the decade, isn't it? Efficiency versus authenticity. But if the bot is good enough to pass the Turing test in a simple text message, maybe the customer doesn't even care. Maybe they actually prefer the speed.
Maybe they just want the appointment booked so they can get on with their life. Something to think about the next time you get a text from a business that feels just a little too convenient. Thanks for diving in with us today.
See you next time.